Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
What is up? Welcome to a special Memorial Day edition of Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Molly Saunders, in for Joy Taylor.
Molly, just ignore what's going on across the table from you.
With Skip Bayless.
Don't do the goat like this.
He thinks he's a goat. I don't know.
Yes.
Do your
hold
back.
Do we have a name for the goat, though?
He's
You
a
have to
sheep
name
goat.
it.
Goat James.
Goat
Go
James.
James with the black and mild?
You know, LeBron looked so tired last night, he must have been smoking those black and milds. That's all I can figure out.
He was tired from putting foots in himself.
Oh,
For
really?
48 minutes, that's a job.
Was he tired of getting his shot blocked and getting dunked on? I don't know. I don't know.
We're actually conversing with this.
Yeah.
Does the goat have any Memorial Day plans?
You know, he might do a little something, Skip Bayless.
Little Cancun.
Skip, you know that Nas song?
Yeah.
They remixed it, and they said if the finals was a mile away, would you pack your bags and go, Skip? If the finals was a mile away, would you leave all your troubles behind?
Yeah. I
You
don't
would?
know, because I won last night, too.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I won yet another case of Diet Mountain Dew. You said 50 plus. I said no way.
I don't care about
beat you again.
I'm
up 8 cases of Diet
what?
Dew.
What do you do with that?
After you know what? Because that's your worst nightmare. Because you had Philly going and everybody was supposed to beat him, and he's still standing.
I'm 8
Holly, he's
cases
still
up.
standing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it back.
Everybody's winning right now, it seems
I might
like.
get it back these finals.
Yeah?
I might get it all back.
Now we're going to be on opposite sides of the table
Yeah,
on this
I
one.
bet we are.
Yeah,
I bet we are.
You can
I
have
love
the
it.
king all you want now.
All right.
Oh, I can have him now. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's start out with the king then, guys. Let's get right into it. I think you guys are primed and ready on this Memorial Day. LeBron's back was against the wall last night, but he still won his 6th straight game, 7, 87-79 in Boston. He finished with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists, and played all 48 minutes. The Celtics had been undefeated at home in the playoffs, but they were just 7 for 39 from three-point range last night. LeBron is now headed to his 8th straight NBA Finals, and here he was after the win. Take a listen.
I guess this is the last chapter for our team in this season. It's been a whirlwind. It's been Cedar Point. Sorry for you guys that don't know much about Cedar Point, but it's been a roller coaster, and it's been good. It's been bad. It's been, it's been roses. It's been thorns in the roses. It's been everything that you can ask for, and I've always said this has been one of the most challenging seasons I've had.
Our goal going into the series was to make him exert as much energy as humanly possible, and try to be as good as we can on everybody else who are good players. And for the most part, I thought we were pretty good at that. And multiple games now in TD Garden held him under 100. 3 games in the 80s, but he still scored 35. It's a joke.
Cedar Point, for everybody who doesn't know, as an Ohioan, talking to LeBron here, most badass amusement park on the planet. But anyhow, I digress. Shannon, how impressive was LeBron last night?
You want me to use a scale, 1 to 10 or 1 to 100?
Well,
Whatever
if
the
it's
goat
1 to
was, I don't
100,
know.
it's 1 to you'd go to 1,000, right?
Well, we keep it going.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go to zillions, not tillions. Skip, this was very, very impressive because if you look at what they had done up until this point in TD Bank, they hadn't played very well. And I said this before, all I need, because I know what I'm going to get from LeBron James. Can he get someone else to come along for the ride? Now, J.R. Smith went into this game yesterday, Skip. He has scored a grand total of 6 points. And in 2 games, he had what, Skip? He had what, 0? So that's, he couldn't have that. And then lo and behold, everybody was, Kevin Love is not going to. That was a blessing, Skip, because a lot of times I think the Cavaliers get empty possessions because they try to establish Kevin Love.
I would agree with
get
that.
Him going.
Yeah.
And so they come away with either a turnover or a terrible shot from Kevin Love.
You finally made a good point.
I was not terribly upset that Kevin Love. I wish him well. Hopefully he'll be ready by Thursday.
He will be.
But I was not disappointed that he was not going to be playing in this
Jeff
ball
Green
game.
stepped right in and played big.
That's what we needed. Skip, we needed someone besides LeBron to give us something. Because in Tristan, I said anything that Tristan gives us over 6 points, Skip, is a plus. He gave us 10. but it was Jeff Green and JR in the second half that really got him over the hump.
Yep.
And if you look at it, Skip, you remember when Jason Tatum got that dunk, Marcus Morris was screaming and yelling. Jason Tatum bumped in LeBron, and LeBron looked at him like, bruh, okay, I got something for you. Hold this 15-2 run. What you think about that?
Yep.
Skip, this was very impressive. No one saw this coming. And I told you, when the man back is against the wall, I want no other person to lead me out of that tight confinement other than LeBron James, because you saw what he did on Friday night, Skip. You say you want to see him. LeBron, because Skip Baylor say, Holly, LeBron, you need to play. You need to play for. Okay, how about if I give you 46 minutes on Friday? And I'm going to come back at 33 years of age and give you all 48. Now, this was LeBron James's 100th game. And we in my crack research, old Steve Owen, he called me again late last night, woke me up. Hey, LeBron James has played almost 14 more games in minutes than anybody else in the NBA.
Wow.
And even after playing almost 14 games more, he gave you that virtuoso. 35, 15, and 9. And think about this, Skip. I want you to let this sink in for just a second. LeBron had 35, 15, and 9. And by his standard in the Game 7, he had an off. But let me tell you what he's done in his last 2 Game 7, Skip. Last 3 closeout games.
Yeah.
Man is averaging 42, 11, and 8. 42, 11, and 8. Skip, baby,
Here it comes.
you should put this on. Because now you are witness. You saw it. You saw the old GOAT. No, you saw the new GOAT. That was Michael Jordan. But this old GOAT with that mouth.
I am the GOAT.
No, you ain't no GOAT. No, you ain't no GOAT.
I should.
You ain't no GOAT.
I'm the GOAT of this
the
show. Yeah. But I don't smoke.
Like you say, you're a lowercase GOAT.
Yeah.
This old big Billy goat, old nanny
Big
goat.
old Billy goat. Give me the because it's like a sheep goat. There we go. Okay, I like that. Is it my turn, Ollie?
Oh, it's your turn. Let's hear
Okay,
it.
here we go. Before I answer the question of how impressive was LeBron James last night, let me show you, Shannon Sharp, that I'm not being a hypocrite with my answer. I'm not exercising 20/20 hindsight with my answer, because I'm going to read 2 predictions that I tweeted just before tip-off last night. And here is tweet number 1. This is before tip-off, before the ball had been bounced in regulation.
Oh, good.
Okay? Tonight, the Celtics will miss Kyrie. They've overachieved sensationally to this point, but in Game 7 versus the King, they wake up and turn back into pumpkins. Was that not what you witnessed last night, blind witness that you are?
Boom.
Did you see what
I
happened?
Good now. Yes.
In all my years of covering the National Basketball Association, I cannot remember a team shooting as horrendously poorly in a home Game 7, a game of real magnitude, than that Celtics team shot from 3 last night. They were 7 of 39 as a team. That's 17.9%. But let's look at those 3 guards, shall we? How about very, very scary Terry Rozier plus Jaylen Brown plus Marcus Smart? The 3 guards for the Boston Celtics combined to shoot 3 of 26 from 3. That's 11.5%. You're not going to win if your 3 guards go 11.5% from 3. And as a team, the Boston Celtics missed 32 threes, which is the second most in a Game 7 in the last 30 years in the National Basketball Association. 32 missed threes? And Shannon Sharp, to my eye, I'm going to say 75% of those 32 misses were wide open threes, where I'm just saying, that's in. Nope. And even the wide open ones, they didn't even have a prayer. They were missing badly, missing way left, way right, long, short. It was just one of those shooting nights where the home team turned back into pumpkins, which leads me to tweet number 2. This is before the game last night. I tweeted, LeBron owes his team for his bizarre tired game or night in Game 5, and I believe he will pay his team back with a big game tonight, 39-15-12. Cavs by 10. I thought the score would be higher because I didn't think the Cavs would shoot this poorly either. But I had them by 10. They won by 8. Sue me on that one. But
They should have won by 12 because they got some cheap baskets.
They got cheap, I agree. 39-15-12. So he went 35-15-10. I don't know. I was in the ballpark. Wouldn't you give me ballpark on that one? I think I saw this coming. Right?
Oh,
Here's the point. which is the point I've been making to you throughout this series. The Cavaliers are better than the overachieving Celtics, and they were from the start. The overachieving Celtics finished 18th during the regular season in offense, and that was with Kyrie Irving, who could not play last night. I don't know where he was last night. He didn't show up. I don't know what that was. Maybe he had a legit excuse. I think his team could have at least used him on the bench and in the huddle, but who knows? So the Cavaliers were very fortunate that these Celtics upset the 76ers, because I told you from the start, I did pick the Sixers over the Cavaliers because the Sixers had done a number on LeBron's team on March 1st. You remember that game at Cleveland when they won handily? And then the last week of the regular season, it was April 6th on a Friday night at Cleveland. They were ahead by 30 before they almost blew the whole lead, but still hung on to win the game at the end. So I kept telling you that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons would make it hard for LeBron to get to the rim. Last night and throughout this series, LeBron could get to the rim at will. Whenever he needed to or wanted to, he just got to the basket or to the free throw line, right?
Yeah.
And the Celtics are so below average on offense, as we saw once again last night, that it allowed LeBron to rest on defense. He was resting a lot on defense last night. He played his one-man zone, standing in the lane, while everybody else played man-to-man. And his man often roamed free on the three-point line, and it didn't really matter. Jaylen Brown made him pay once that I can remember. And Jaylen made 3 threes, but I think only once was LeBron's responsibility.
Because you was talking about the one LeBron was in the lane, Jaylen Brown comes through the lane, runs around the pick, and then he shoots a wide open 3. I think in the scouting report, they were going to switch that. The guy that was, because they set like a screen, I think Baines was out there, and they were probably anticipating either Tristan or Nance Jr. would rotate, and if they roll, LeBron would be there to pick it off. It didn't happen, but hey, go ahead. I got what you.
So LeBron was able to rest on defense in ways he will not be. If it's Golden State in the next round, and if Iguodala comes back in the next round, you can't rest anymore, or you're going to really pay for that. But he could get away with it against a below-average offensive team that just went up in smoke in fourth quarter after fourth quarter after fourth quarter. So what happened in the end was what should have happened in the beginning. I called it Cavs in 5. I think you thought 6, and it went 7, and it really should have been over in 6. If LeBron hadn't had his one off night, bad game, his tired game, I don't know what happened, but what happened last night should have happened much earlier, because the Celtics are, so to speak, too green. And, you know, I kept tweeting last night, Mr. Sharp, and you can laugh at this, but speaking of LeBron not having enough help, I thought last night Jason Tatum didn't have enough help. He got no help from his teammates. Wasn't he the whole show on offense?
Al Horford played good.
Oh, he did not?
I thought you like Al. You like Al.
Al Horford?
Yeah, Al played good.
Yeah, he had a grand total of 7 rebounds in this game. Yeah. That's not good.
He was going early. In the first half, he had 14. He played the entire second. He played a lot.
I'm sorry, he had 4. I'm looking at Jason Tatum's rebounds. You know what? I didn't think anybody lived up to help him, which brings us to last night's fourth quarter. Here we went again. And by the way, the only way the Celtics were hanging in this game, to me, number one way, LeBron, you didn't mention, of course, he had 8 turnovers in this game. You can't have 8 turnovers. Do you realize he's running away with the turnover lead in the postseason? He's got 14 more than James Harden does.
He's also running away with the points and the assists and the rebounding lead, too.
But the 8 turnovers last night, some of them just very uncharacteristic, just careless passes. It helped keep the Celtics barely afloat. And back to your point that you made earlier, Jason Tatum made a big 3 with 6:04 left in the game. That put Boston, shockingly to me, up 1. And then what happened?
Pass to Jeff Green in the corner.
Boom, 3. And 15-2 happened because the Celtics went on a run in which they missed their next 10 shots. They missed 10 in a row. This is crunch time. You had a lead, then you missed your next 10 shots? Did LeBron have anything to do with that? Not really. I mean, he played a little harder in the fourth quarter on defense.
Oh, they were 3 of 16 when guarded by LeBron James in Game 7. But that's just the fact you chose.
I don't even know how you could make that stat, because I'm not sure who he guarded.
Well, don't worry about it. They made the stat. The same stats you get yours from, that's where I got mine from. But Skip, you said after the Game 5, you said his tired game, he owed him. Do you think that he more than made up for it in Game 6?
He did. No, Game 6 and 7. 7 is the one.
No.
The one where they'd been not very good at TD Bank.
Skip, if LeBron James doesn't do what he did in Game 6, is there a Game 7?
No, but
Okay.
They'd been killing Boston at Cleveland, right?
Okay.
Had it even been close?
Okay.
Was anybody surprised by what happened Friday night?
And Boston had been killing them in Boston. Here's the thing. No Kevin Love. So this is what makes this, and I think this was a blessing in disguise again, Skip, is because now we don't have to worry about trying to get Kevin Love the ball so he can get going. Guys just get open. LeBron was getting so frustrated, Skip, is that he started taking bad shots because his most trusted sniper, Kyle Korver, couldn't hit a corner three to save his life, Skip. I'm talking about wide open corner threes. JR, wide open corner threes. Jeff Green, wide open. And I tweeted, I was like, hold on. As bad as the Cavaliers are played, it was like 2 minutes left in the first half, Skip. As bad as they're playing, they're only down 2. And this is what happens. If you look at the way they shot the ball in games 1, 2, and 5, Skip, it's a big difference shooting the basketball when you're up 15 and when you're up 20.
I would agree.
Because you get to take those shots with conviction.
Yep.
Game 7 is finality. You know what's at stake. You're in your build, and every miss, you hear the crowd go, ooh. And all of a sudden, that starts to get into your mind. You knew, Skip, with this game, the way it was, heading into the fourth quarter, you knew what was going to happen.
I did.
You knew what was going to happen, and that's what you have to do.
What should have happened.
Get a team to game 7, especially in their building. If you do not let them run and hide where they're up 15, they're up 20, and they high-fiving, and everybody on the bench is kicking their heels like they're at an 8th grade dance. Now, all of a sudden, old GOAT James says, okay, because the one thing he can do better than anybody in the NBA, he can control a game. He's like, no, not too fast. If you notice, Skip, in the fourth quarter, almost every last one of their shots came with under 6-7 seconds left on the shot clock. That was not by accident. Oh, Bron said, I got this.
Oh, Bron said?
Oh, Bron said, I got y'all.
I wouldn't see him.
Bron said, I got y'all. Oh, don't do that, Skip. You know, hold on, wait a minute. Now, all of a sudden, he's not the coach. All the other time when they're making decisions, he's the coach. This time around, you want to give somebody else the credit. I'm not going to let you do that to LeBron James.
I'm not giving credit. I just said I'm not sure we should give him credit for playing defense.
No. I'm saying what he was doing is that he was taking the shot clock down. He was making sure they were not shooting the ball with 15 seconds. Bring this clock on down. Skip, and you got to think about the contributions he got. Jeff Green has been on how many teams since he arrived there? Think about it. He was original Supersonic, went with them to the Thunder. He was the Clippers. He was at Memphis. He was at Boston. He was like 5 teams.
City.
Kyle Korver, like 4 or 5 teams. JR with 2 teams. So look at what he's gotten.
I can also argue that's a lot of experience you've gotten.
Really?
Those guys had been in the war, in the battle.
Jeff Green has?
Yeah.
No. Yo, Jeff Green ain't been in no battle. Yeah, he was on that roster when Bron ran through him at OKC. Yeah, he was there. So he know it, Bron. He says, instead of playing against Bron, if I want to go to an NBA Finals, I need to play with LeBron. Skip, this was very good, given the circumstances of what this team and what he's been able to do. He led the NBA in minutes played. And you say, I don't want him to have an excuse. He's leading the NBA in playoff minutes. And Skip, he's giving you these virtuosos on a nightly basis.
I'm not sure last night was virtuoso. 8 turnovers?
What about that 35, 15, and 9?
That's good.
Who's the leading scorer in NBA history in Game 7s? Look at his resume.
Well, Jordan didn't get to Game 7s. He ended it in 6.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on. Well, a lot of times you can't get to, because a lot of times you can't get to a Game 5 if you're getting swept. Remember, in his first 10 games, he won 1 of those. He got swept twice by Boston, and Milwaukee beat the brakes off him. So let's not lose sight of that. It's hard to go 7 if you get swept 3-0.
Well, how many Game 7s did LeBron play before he got to Miami?
Well, all I know is LeBron James is 6-2. In 8 Game 7, he's won his last 6. That's fact. That's not conjecture. That's not speculation. No, that ain't good. Don't use good. Good. Oh, that was a good. That was a good.
Let me demonstrate bad to you. Let me show you how fortunate LeBron was to play Boston. You realize in the fourth quarters of the last 3 games of this series in Boston, that's 2, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, here's what they were from 3. 0 for 7, 2 for 12, and 3 for 13. That's what the Celtics were in order from 3. Do you see how many? Look at the misses from 3. Do you realize how many nights they had a chance? They have a chance. And last night they just couldn't do it. They can't find the basket. This is the team you're playing. This is how bad this team was.
The difference in Game 7 as opposed to Games 2 and 5, when you're up 20, you miss those shots. It doesn't matter. Now all of a sudden you're in a nip and tuck ball game, and you have the number 1 general in all the 5-star generals. Skip. You know he's a 5-star? They don't even give those anymore.
Well, guess who left the 5-star general to go to Boston? This guy named Kyrie Irving, and he said, I've had enough of this guy.
Guess what he said? He said he had enough, and LeBron took a team to the finals without him. And guess what? The team that he joined went to the Eastern Conference final without him. So when it's all said and done, that's a knock on his resume.
If this team had Kyrie Irving in any of these fourth quarters, especially last night, those numbers would not have happened. Last night, you would have been in trouble if Kyrie were wearing green.
Whoa, Skip, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You know it, and I know it. This guy's a closer, the ultimate closer.
Well, the same argument that you use against LeBron, that he's 3 and 5, had we had Kyrie, had we had Kevin Love, maybe we're having a different discussion the first time around against the Golden State Warriors. But you don't make that concession. So all I know is who played. Kyrie hadn't played since middle of March. And the Celtics still got to where they got without Kyrie. He left LeBron. What's LeBron going to do now? LeBron said, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Because what I did, I suppressed who I naturally was, who's an alpha top dog closer, just to appease Kyrie.
Well, you're really lucky he got hurt. That's all I got to say.
Hey, no,
he went there to get even with you.
Did we bust Kyrie's head in the Boston Garden? Didn't we bust his head in the garden with that those acquisitions we made?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Did we beat him? Yes or no?
Did LeBron have help that day?
See, there you go. I'm going to ask you a simple question.
Do you remember what Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance did in that
I tell you what he didn't have.
What Rodney Hood did in that
I tell
game?
you what he didn't have. He didn't have a guy in Klay Thompson that hit 9 or 14 threes. That's what he didn't have. He didn't have a 2-time MVP riding shotgun. That's what he didn't have.
Well, you're going to have to deal with that. No, you're going to have to deal with that.
Skip, this is what I love.
But if you got the GOAT, it shouldn't matter. You got the GOAT.
You know what? This is what I love so much about Skip. Because this is what you do, Skip, and I figured you out. I got you down to a science. When LeBron James, yes, you. See, when LeBron James wins, he has so much help. But when he loses, if he's the GOAT, he got to win those games.
Well, you should against the Boston Celtics.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
On.
What were the Celtics known for? Defense.
Not defending LeBron.
Yeah. And he ran through that Boston Celtics defense like foreign water through a tourist. You know what happens if you just drink foreign water in a foreign land. It ain't good for you.
We're going to see that in the finals.
Montezuma's revenge.
We're going to see it?
You just might.
Yeah,
The GOAT is putting its
Don't make me call a 40-point. Don't make me say Bron go average 40 a night. Don't make me do it, Skip. Don't make me do it, Skip Bayless.
For 20 cases of Diet Mountain Dew,
don't make me do it.
Average 40
I got up early this morning. I read the Daily Bread, Skip. Don't make me do
your
it.
GOAT's out. He's putting his ashes out in your coffee, by the way. We didn't give Skip any credit, though, for his tweets, by the way. Do you do horoscopes, too?
No.
Like, you're pretty...
He was hating. He was hating. He thought LeBron was going...
He's
he
a
thought
prophet.
LeBron was going to spit the bit.
I did not.
He was pretty spot on. All right, guys. All good things have to come to an end eventually, right?
Yeah, it's over, Self. Enjoy it. And I want all you bums that bet me on Twitter, I need my due. I ain't betting no due. I need a gallon of hen. I better do the gallon of hen, Skip.
Really?
Yeah. He up there bumping his gums. I need all that.
This week. Guy on Twitter?
Yeah. Because they keep running up.
Is he a close friend?
What I meant was, will the Warriors season come to an end tonight? Is that the good thing that's coming to an end? We debate coming up next. This is Undisputed, and we're out of control.
No mercy. Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. More Undisputed is on the way, but first, a quick word from our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. At Buffalo Wild Wings, we'll admit that we often go overboard with our limited time offerings. We just can't help ourselves. Take our new signature sampler for $15. You get wings and 3 shareable options like fried pickles or cheese curds. Then there's our aptly named over-the-top nachos, a literal mountain of crispy tortilla chips loaded with your choice of pulled pork or honey barbecue grilled chicken, corn, jalapenos, and more. Then top it all off with our new Platinum Margarita. Go overboard with us today at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beer, Sports. Available for limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly. Now, back to the show.
No mercy. On behalf of all the members of the United States Armed Services, both past and present, start your engines!
Help us to remember our nation's warriors those who have left family and friends to fight for freedom on our behalf.
Appreciate everything they do for us.
And a very happy Memorial Day weekend.
So much honor and respect for our military.
Once again, it is a holiday in which we remember the people who died while serving in the country's armed forces.
Our most solemn of holidays, the Memorial Day tradition continues today.
Welcome back into Undisputed, and a very happy Memorial Day to everyone at home. And all of us at Fox Sports want to thank the many military men and women that have given their lives while serving our country, guys, right?
I want to second that emotion. Thank you to all the men and women who have served, are serving, are defending our country and helping keep it the greatest country in the world.
Skip, there are going to be a lot of people today that's going to be at lakes and rivers or laying out by the pool. There'll be people that are grilling and enjoying a great time.
Yep.
But let's not forget the reason why Memorial Day is what it is, because there are so many men and women that gave their lives. So let's take a moment to pause and thank them and thank their families that they left behind for allowing them to play the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we enjoy every single day here in America.
You're right. We certainly wouldn't have those freedoms if it weren't for those men and women. So today, we honor all of you and hope that all of you at home have some time to spend with your family and friends. And then later tonight, park it in front of the TV once again for a very big Game 7, guys, as we switch back to sports here. Huge Game 7 tonight in Houston between the Rockets and Warriors. Golden State won on Saturday night behind Klay Thompson's 9 3-pointers and 35 points total. Chris Paul missed that game for Houston with a hamstring injury, and Mike D'Antoni said yesterday that CP3 will be a game-time decision tonight. So Shannon, considering everything that we know, all the facts, who will win Game 7?
I've had the Warriors all along, Skip. I'm going to stay with them as long as the big four. Now, I know Andre Iguodala is injured, Skip. There's a great chance he's not going to play.
Great
but
chance.
As long as KD, Steph, Clay, and Draymond's there, they'll be just fine. They just have so much firepower, Skip. They can just come at you with a barrage. Houston was doing so well. They had a 17-point lead at the end of the first quarter. That easily could have been 25-30.
It could have been.
But then all of a sudden in the second quarter, they start getting really loose with the basketball. And then in the third quarter, they get even looser with the basketball. Skip, they say the quickest way for a team, if you play football, is for you to turn the ball over. In baseball, they say you let a team back in the game if you commit errors. Well, in basketball, if you want to let a team get back into a ball game, you start turning the basketball over, especially that Warriors team in their building, and they caught fire. Steph started hitting threes. I mean, Steph was letting the ball go from the timeline, and it was splashing. And then Clay, all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Skip, how do you get outscored 64-25? You scored 37 points.
It's hard to do.
In the first quarter. You scored 25 points in the second half.
It's hard to do.
You scored 9 in the fourth, and with like 3 minutes left in the ball game, you only had 4 points in the fourth quarter.
And by the way, your regular season MVP in the fourth quarter scores 0. James Harden, go ahead.
0. No, that's your MVP. That's everybody's MVP. That's everybody's MVP.
Regular season.
And you saw this. How's he looking without Chris Paul? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the Warriors. The Warriors it's a great luxury to have when the second greatest player, or Skip argue Holly, the first best player in the NBA is the third lead scorer, and you win by 30.
What did I tell you on Friday?
Oh, you let me?
No longer.
Oh, you dropped him off?
Yeah.
Yeah, you dropped him off.
I told you I dropped him off, right? I said he's Kevin Durant. I'll give you that right now.
You want this?
For the time
being.
No
time being. Ain't no time being. Ain't no time being.
Yeah, now
ain't no time being.
He's got a chance to prove it in the finals now.
Last decade has been unquestioned.
Okay.
But Skip, they just have too much firepower. I just do not believe, unless you're going to get Trevor Reeves. If they play like they did in Game 2, you get 19 points from Ariza, and you get 22, 23 points from Tucker. James Harden, he's going to have to pick up that slack that Chris Paul is not, because I don't believe Chris Paul's going to play. And if he plays, Skip, he'll be 5% of what he is. So he might as well just sit on the bench, because he's not going to be able to shuffle and slide and push off and try to run around picks, fight through picks, and try to guard Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. That's not going to happen. So I'm under the assumption. I know what D'Antoni said. He's a game-time decision. But that game has been decided in Game 5 when he went down with that hamstring injury. But when they're playing like this, Skip, it's just that barrage. It just comes, and it comes in waves, because they can go a lead that they have that's 4 points.
Yep.
You look up, and 90 seconds later, it's 18 points because that's how quick they can get off those threes. I just don't see, unless Houston got a trick up their bag, and like I said, Ariza gives you 19, Tucker gives you 20, like he did in game 2, and then Harden is really going to have to be James Harden, Skip. He can't have 25 in the first half and then 5 or 6 in the second half. If he goes for 25 in the first, he's going to need to be around somewhere around 40, 45 in the second. He's going to have, if he's the MVP, Skip, he does have game 7 in this building. He's going to have to show you why they voted for him in the regular season to win that award.
That is correct. He has yet another great opportunity to save his playoff legacy, which continues to slip into the darkness again, because playoff James, as we know, becomes way off James. He just does right on schedule. And yet, I agree with everything you just said. I believe Golden State will win tonight because I want Golden State to win tonight because, just me, I want to see LeBron, Golden State, what are we up to, 4?
4.
That's what I want to see. I can't get enough of it. I think it's great theater. I don't really want to see the Rockets and the Cavaliers, but I will tell you this. You should be rooting for the Rockets. I think LeBron would have a better chance against the Rockets than he would against Golden State. But the thing that concerns me about Golden State winning, and I bring this up on this show occasionally, is when I hear everybody out there say Golden State, and they're big favorites. They're, 5.5-point favorites now? Sometimes it goes the other way. You know, when the world says this, that happens. And everywhere I turn on the TV, no matter what I'm watching, everybody's picking Golden State. Everybody's writing Golden State. And that Golden State team I saw the other night, and I know a guy who's plugged in there, an insider who's been there for a long time, told me the other day that we're a joyless bunch right now. Like they just been there and done it so much that they're kind of running out of gas a little bit, like psychologically, emotionally. They're not having fun anymore. Kevin Durant's not having fun. He's hit the wall, man. I don't know if he's got distractions off the court. I don't know if he's got too many business interests. I don't know what's happened, but that guy, even on Saturday night, as I told you on Friday, that wasn't that guy who was the finals MVP.
No.
I don't know, maybe he got what he wanted or needed last year. He got a finals MVP and a ring. Is he good to go? Is that enough? I don't know, but he doesn't look right to me.
That big run that they had, Skip, to start the fourth, Kevin Durant was on the bench.
He was.
They went with the old guard.
I'm with you. And by the way, in the first half, Steph Curry looked like playoff Steph, who I never quite trust. Steph in the first half was 1 for 7 from 3. And as you point out, guess who saved him? It was the fourth wheel, the guy who's always sacrificing for the other 3, for Draymond and Steph and KD. It's that guy, Clay. And some nights he's like, you guys got this? I'm good. I'm good. I'll just play defense tonight. They needed somebody to start making shots. And did he make shots? Listen, when he needs to be, he's every bit the shooter Steph Curry is. Seriously.
He can get hotter than Steph because his catch and shoot, Skip, is second to none.
What did I read? This is like a 4th level stat, but that he set the record for how fast he was making threes. He made 7 within 1 second of catching the ball. You know, like it's just
it's up. How do you
gone? How do you stop that?
Exactly. You don't, Skip. And what makes him and we're going to talk about this. He's so valuable because he always guards the opposing team's best player.
Yep.
So if it's a point guard, if it's a 2 guard, and a lot of times if it's a wing, a small 3, he has that responsibility.
Well, in the second half, he had James Harden.
Thank you.
And Steve Kerr made a strong point. Klay Thompson is in superior shape to have to run that hard on defense, play that hard against that guy who's just dribbling your brains out, right? And hanging with him and fighting with him and keeping him from the rim and then going down and making big shots. LeBron will tell you how hard it is, right?
Because a lot of times what you try to do, you try to keep your best offensive player off the opposing team's best offensive player because you don't want him to burn up all of his energy.
Nope.
If you look at the old days, Skip, Bird didn't play the team's best power forward.
No.
You need him on offense. You can't have him expending all that energy.
He would roam on defense and disrupt on defense.
Hey, good hand.
Would.
And that's but Clay is going head up. Because you remember last year, Skip, in the finals, who he had? His responsibility was Kyrie.
Yep. Hey.
It's James Harden. So he's true Holiday. That's what he has. That's what he's up against.
Yeah, and I've seen him against my Spurs when their spark plug was Patty Mills. They'll put him on little 5'11" Patty. He'll just take him completely out of the game. Put him on Tony Parker. Just shuts him down. He's like suffocates him. He can go bigger or littler, whatever.
Yes.
He is extremely valuable to this team, yet I still believe look, will Chris Paul try to play? I'll bet he tries to play. Now, to your point, how long will he last? But I keep hanging on to this. Once upon a time, I had to watch him against my San Antonio Spurs in Game 7 at Staples, pull the hamstring, that's what they announced, go to the locker room for a long while, come back, and late in the game, come back into the game, and maybe he was dragging it a little bit, but you know and I know, it's hard to drag. Once it's gone, it's just gone.
Yeah, and no pushing.
But he pushed off it enough that he made a shot up over Tim Duncan that won the game and advanced them to the next round against Golden State, right?
But Skip, if you look at this, the Rockets had 21 turnovers, 13 assists. The Warriors had 26 assists to 12 turnovers. They let them get back in the ball game by turning. I've never seen a team get so careless. And you talk about LeBron, but they got like 4 or 5 guys that get real loose with the ball.
Yeah.
They have the ball, and then all of a sudden they throw it to a guy that he has to jump, and he doesn't establish position coming out of the backcourt, turnover. They throw the ball, and it's a steal. I'm like, dude, they just get really, really careless with the ball. And the one thing you can't do when you play the Warriors, they force you, Skip, you really got to be on your best behavior for basically 48 minutes.
You do?
Because in the blink of an eye, they got guys that can let the 3-ball go, and they're never out of a ball game. That's why it's so difficult for you to beat them, because there's no lead that they can't overcome because they got those 3 marksmen. A lot of teams, you say, man, if we got 2, you got 2 players, you're like, okay, we good. But they got 3. 3 of the top 10 shooters that's ever played in the NBA. 2 of them are MVPs in their prime. Klay Thompson is a number 1 or number 2 scoring option on a lot of other teams.
Probably number 1, I would agree.
On a lot of teams, he's number 1. But at worst case, Skip, he's number 2.
I agree. So I think this is going to be lower scoring. I think there's going to be nerves involved. I think throats are going to get tighter and tighter, both home team and visiting team on this one, because the Warriors are just clinging to whatever was left of them. But I think they're going to pull it out. I'm going to go low scoring, 97-95 Warriors. And I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I think they will.
All right, Game 7 is, so you got something else?
Skip, can James Harden, cut down on the threes and just go? Skip, he can get to the basket. He's getting to the basket or he's getting fouled. But I don't know why he loves that step back, dribble between the legs, to the right, to the left, kick, and shoot the 3.
He's been doing it all year. And when he makes that shot, he is unguardable.
Yeah, but
when he doesn't, he's guardable.
He went over 20, and now he just happened. So now he's 4 of 32.
No. Yep.
Game 7 tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern in Houston.
No mercy.
LeBron is headed to his 8th straight NBA Finals after winning in Boston last night. Had an unbelievable game, 35 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, and he played all 48 minutes. After the game, Ty Lue put LeBron's performance in perspective. Take a listen.
You've seen LeBron do some unbelievable things, going 48 minutes tonight, doing what he did. Where does that stack up for you?
The best. Yeah, I think so. I think he's had a lot of, gaudy games, but I just think, Game 7 in Boston, all the circumstances that surround Boston, the history behind Boston, playing a team that's very well coached, a good young team that's undefeated in the playoffs at home.
All right, so that's Ty Lue. Shannon, simply put, was this the greatest game of LeBron's career?
Skip, I've gone back and forth, and I'm a historian of LeBron James. But as Ty Lue said, given the circumstances, now we remember games 5, 6, and 7 of Golden State, but he did have Kyrie and Kevin Love riding shotgun. 6 and 7, Kevin Love goes out, Skip, 3 minutes into the ball game with that concussion? He has to carry the mail, has to bring it home. And in this, he goes into the game knowing that I'm not going to have Kevin Love. So now, all of a sudden, that's why you see his rebounding total 15, because he knew he was going to have to help Tristan on the boards because there was no Kevin Love going to be there. And as Ty Lue was also stating, Game 7, with a minimum of 2 games, the Boston Celtics has the best Game 7 home record in NBA history. Skip, think about all the great Lakers teams that led by Elgin Baylor and Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain that couldn't get it done in the Garden. You think about the Magic Johnson's teams that couldn't get it done in a Game 7. The bad boy Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals couldn't get it done in a Game 7. LeBron James takes a team, and you look at Jeff Green. Jeff Green has played on 5 teams before he joined the Cleveland Cavaliers. George Hill has been on 4 teams. Kyle Korver has been on 4 teams. That's what he took into that building. And granted, Skip, they're not the offensive juggernaut that they probably would have been had they had Kyrie. But I'm not so sure they can play the brand of basketball that they've been playing, which is stifling, suffocating defense. Because that's what they're good. That's what they were known for, Skip. You have these young, long, athletic guys, and they switch multiple times. Al Horford can switch. Al Horford will protect the rim. And LeBron James said, you know what? I know what you're thinking. I'm coming in the Garden, and I'm going to take what's rightfully mine. And unless you played with the Celtics in the 50s, unless you're a Russell, unless you're a Sam Jones, unless you're one of them guys, Skip, nobody in the modern era know what it feels like to be LeBron James. Going to 8 straight finals, and he would have it no other way in a Game 7 in Boston. Call it the body snatcher.
Really?
Yeah, he took their soul.
Took their soul? So you're going, this is his greatest game?
Given the circumstances, Skip. I know you might like the Detroit series, but you got to understand also, if you go back to some of those past performances, you're talking about LeBron at 22. You're talking about LeBron now on his 8 straight finals trip, logged all these minutes with 3 Olympics in also encapsulated in that span. So given the totality of it, it's hard for me to disagree with Ty Lue.
Talk about prisoner of moment. Talk about overreaction. Talk about blind witness. This was not even close to being LeBron's greatest game, because I'm going to say it one more time. The Celtics aren't nearly as good as the Cavaliers are because of that guy. And the Celtics are woefully challenged on offense, as we saw again last night. So LeBron didn't really have to play that much. Nah, they were at home. They were. I can just show you the stats. In fourth quarters of the last 3 games at TD Bank, they were woefully bad from 3. So just to go with your premise. So let's look at Michael Jordan's last game as a Chicago Bull, Game 6 at Utah, because the score was exactly the same. Bulls scored 87 points. Last night, Cleveland won on the road with 87 points. Michael was at Utah against Malone, Stockton, Hornacek. It was a pretty good team. And last night, LeBron's up against a team without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward, without Shane Larkin, without Daniel Tice. Those are key bench players for the Celtics. So let's look at what happened. Michael Jordan scored 45 of the 87 points that the Bulls scored that night in Game 6. So LeBron scored 35 of the 87 scored last night by the Cavaliers. Michael had 4 steals, including the steal at the end of the game on Karl Malone. And LeBron didn't have any steals last night and had 8 turnovers. Michael had 1 turnover in that game and had the ball in his hands, by far the most of any player on the floor.
Did he play all 48 minutes?
No, he played 44, so it's pretty close.
Oh, no, they ain't pretty close. No, hold up. Since when is 4 close to 8?
Okay, so LeBron just hung in the game.
No, Skip. You said you wanted to see him play all 48, and he did.
I didn't say I wanted
Yes, you
to play
did.
all
Yes, you
48.
did. You said you
wanted
wanted
to see him engaged the whole game. But Michael that night had only 1 teammate score in double figures. Kukoc had 15. And last night, LeBron did have 3 teammates in double figures. So that's some help. I think he had help last night, wouldn't you say?
Skip.
So Michael was 1 year older that night than LeBron is now. So I don't know. Really? We're going to throw that game up against Jordan's game?
But here's the thing. But that wasn't the question. The question was...
I'm just showing you for perspective, there's a game.
If you don't mind me asking, so what are we about to do about that year and a half that Michael took off to take on his body? They got his body rested. What are we going to do about that year and a half?
I don't know. He was forced to take
it. Okay. He was forced, but I'm just saying, what do we get to do about that? Because in a year and a half, I can assure you he was not digging ditches. I can assure you he was not doing manual labor. So I'm trying to figure out, since you made it about Jordan, what is LeBron supposed to do about that?
I don't know. He's the fittest athlete, you tell me, in the history of sports. So you shouldn't be doing anything about it.
Give me those stats about Michael only had one teammate, Tony Kukoc, in double figures.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, prior to Michael Jordan getting Scottie Pippen, how far did he advance in the playoffs minus Scottie Pippen?
Well, okay. So Pippen helps, but he's not, again, Michael made him a top 50
So let me
player.
ask you a question. All things being equal, who's a better player, Kevin Love or Scottie Pippen?
Kevin Love's pretty good.
I'm just asking you simply, that wasn't what I asked. That wasn't a question.
Yeah.
Who's a better player, Scottie Pippen or Kevin Love?
I'd probably take Scottie over Kevin
Okay, you
Love, but
probably
it'd
would.
be close. It'd
Okay.
be close. Kevin Love is 6'10" and was leading the playoffs in rebounds before he got concussed.
Okay.
You know that.
All things being
You don't
equal.
think Kevin can make threes?
Who would you take? Okay, the third option, whomever the third option is, who's a better third option on the Cavaliers currently as we speak? Whoever that is, are they better than Dennis Rodman?
Dennis was at the end of the line.
He did still average 14 rebounds a game.
Yeah. It's fair, but again, look at the competition. These green Celtics, two green Celtics
Let me ask you,
versus Malone, Stockton, and Hornacek.
So if you don't
Really?
mind me asking, which one of those players, is it Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford? Which one of those players is Jeff Hornacek better than? Which one of those players is Dan Marley better
on
than?
that night of Game 6?
No.
He's better than a bunch of them.
I'm not talking about that
He was
night.
a cold-blooded, knockdown three-point shooter.
So in other words, you're telling me.
And he would defend like crazy, like get up in you. Whew.
So are you telling me Jeff
He knew
Hornacek?
how to play and how to win. These kids don't know how to win.
I'm asking you. So are you saying Jeff?
Jaylen Brown was lost last night. Just lost.
So Skip, you're gonna take
Both
one
ends.
game.
Yeah.
What about the
I'm
game?
just saying that was the game. This was the game for Utah, the game for the Boston Celtics.
So in other words, we disregard everything else that happened up until this game.
No,
So
I'm just showing you that's degree of difficulty. That was hard because you're going to get eliminated that night in Utah if you don't win that game.
what the hell was going to happen to LeBron if he lost Game 7?
Okay, well, I'm just saying, but I got it. But what's degree of difficulty? Help me out.
First of all,
help me out. Who had the higher degree of difficulty
First
that
of all,
night?
Skip.
Scottie Pippen was sick that night, just for the record.
Skip.
Help me out.
First of all, the degree of difficulty, if they lose that Game 6, there's a Game 7. That's all that means. So the degree of difficulty is out the window. That's obsolete. It makes your point not and void. See, LeBron James, there's finality to a Game 7 because you know why, Skip? They don't play Games 8 and 9.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to LeBron's greatest game. In my view, it was that 2012. This was, you want to talk about hot seat time for LeBron? That Game 6 at Boston?
Yes.
Same building.
Yes.
LeBron, the year before, had melted down the way I'd never seen a superstar melt down in the finals.
Okay.
So everybody's saying, are you really that guy? So they're facing elimination that night against Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. Now, they're older players at that point, but I still say that was high degree of difficulty with Rondo because that team knew how to win.
Correct.
And LeBron went in and destroyed them and played 45 minutes and scored 45 points. 15 rebounds, 5 assists. It was big time. I was just in awe of it.
But you lose sight of the fact he had D. Wade and he also had Chris Bosh.
Okay, D. Wade scored 17 that night and Chris Bosh scored 8. So he had one other teammate in double figures.
But the thing is, Skip, is that D. Wade still had cachet. Chris Bosh still was an all-star.
I agree.
But when you look at this, no Kevin. So now it'd have been if you'd have took D. Wade away and he pulls that off, so now he has to go with Chris Bosh and Haslam and whomever else is in there. Now you make a very compelling argument. But given what LeBron had to do minus Kevin Love and given what he had to do on the Skip, there's nothing like Game 7. There's nothing like it. Nothing. And the finality of it. See, in Michael Jordan,
there's something like it called Game 6 when you're going to be eliminated and you've taken your talents to South Beach to join Dwayne and Chris.
But what I'm trying to explain to you is that Michael Jordan, when he hit that walk-off, if he misses that, they go to Game 7.
No, they go to Game 7. Okay. Now, Scottie was so sick, I didn't think he was going to be able to play in Game 7. So there's a lot riding on this.
But Skip.
He just said, I got this.
What was Jordan's stat line? He had 45.
He had nothing else.
Nothing.
He doesn't do the other stuff.
But that's my point.
Yeah, but he scored 45 of 87 points. That's just preposterous.
But LeBron had 35 of the 87, and then he has assists. But you think about all the assists that he had were on wide open shots that they missed. And that was starting him to get frustrated because, like I said, his most trusted sniper, Kyle Korver, missed 2 wide open corner threes. Now, Skip, you know in that corner, Kyle Korver lethal.
Well, that's why he shouldn't have shot that shot.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip. No, don't do that.
Bottom line to this, I just can't go greatest game ever when you have 8 turnovers. I'm sorry, it's just too many. 8 turnovers, he's better than that. You know that.
Look, but you got to think about 3 of those turnovers was on charges. It wasn't like he made bad passes and one of them shouldn't have been because Marcus Smart flopped and he flopped.
I tweeted
that should have been an and one.
All right, I'll give you 7 turnovers.
And he should have had an and one on Rozier because they said he fouled him. He never put the ball back down, Skip. And I'll tell you one more thing, Skip. That shot that he made against Toronto, that was skill. Because you see him do that shot more times than not now. How he's going to the right, on his right-hand side, and he kisses the ball.
But he had backboard to shoot at in the which game was it? I forget where he's going. Game 3. He's going hard left. He's run out of backboard. He's getting close to the baseline, and he's going to try to kiss it off nothing, and it barely ticks the backboard and goes in.
He just made that shot a little closer in on Al Horford last night.
I saw it, but he had plenty of backboard to work with.
Falling out of bounds. Falling out of bounds.
I think it was a little lucky.
Oh, don't do that, Skip.
I'm pretty sure.
What did Amundsen say about luck, Skip? Victory awaits the man who has everything in order.
Who did Amundsen play for?
Don't worry about it, Skip. You know who Amundsen played for. He didn't play for anybody.
All right, guys, we are human. Sometimes we all get rejected, but not always by King James. One of his blocks was so nasty last night, we have to take a look back at it. It might have been the play of Game 7. We'll discuss that coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
No mercy.
One of the plays everyone was talking about last night happened late in the 3rd quarter. LeBron turned the ball over to Terry Rozier, but the King got his revenge with a huge block on Scary Terry. No foul was called, and LeBron stayed under the basket and stared him down. Not a spot that you ever really want to be in. All right, Shannon, how impressive was this block? Is that you staring Skip down?
Not that impressive.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were.
You remember what happened?
I thought you were tongue-tied.
No.
Like, I can't defend this.
No. You remember what happened in Game 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Rozier stole the ball. And on Skip Baylor talking about, I thought LeBron James, LeBron, you got to play some defense. You need to show me something.
He rested on that
No,
play.
LeBron.
He rested.
No,
he took that play off.
No, what he did was size him up.
No, did he?
So he said, if I come at this angle, at this amount of speed,
so
at this...
He was calculating?
Yes.
You got me on that.
Yes.
That's way over my head.
He basically said he's looking at him. So he sized him up and says, you know what? He's probably going to take off from inside the arc. So he can't take off from the top of the key. So he's going to need to get a little closer. So if I run at this speed, which is about 4.5 miles per hour, it should take me about 12 steps to get there. If I take off with my left foot, LeBron is a left foot leaper, being right-handed, most of us are. He said, if I do this, I should meet him at the apex at about 11 foot 6 inches above the rim. And it's not going to end well. I keep telling you, LeBron James has a habit of throwing these hen parties, Holly. And Joker still try to sneak apple juice in there, and he got to reject them.
Really?
He invited Rozier. He said, Rozier, come to the party. All you got to do is just show up with a bottle of hen.
Really?
He showed up with apple juice, and you see what happened to him, Skip? He had to get it up out of there.
Really?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Normally, what Skip Bayless like to do, Holly, when he chased down, and I don't even know if that chase down block was Iguodala. Skip says, well, that was a bicycle built for 2.
Well, JR cut him off at the pass, so Iggy had to slow up.
Okay.
Right?
What was this? Who cut Rozier off at the pass?
Nobody. Are you calling this a chase down?
No.
Whoa. Hold on. LeBron has the angle on him because LeBron created the predicament with his bad pass that Rozier intercepted. So LeBron's got a break on. He's got a head start, and he's just trotting to the rim to cut him off at the pass. So nobody needs to because he's already at the pass, right?
Yes.
So help me out.
Yes.
Terry Rozier is all of 6 feet 1 inches tall, right?
Yeah.
And LeBron, what do we give him? 6 feet 9 inches tall,
6'9".
right? 6'9" versus 6'1". Who's going to win that battle at the rim? Could it be that Scary Terry was just so out of it because he could not buy a basket last night, right?
Well, that normally gets him going.
Oh.
That'll normally get you going. You get a flush. You like, oh, everybody going crazy. That garden is going to erupt because a 6'1" guy just dunked on the baddest man, the GOAT.
Or maybe the 6'1" guy was playing so out of control because he was so discombobulated by all of his bad misses that he just lost his mind and said, I'm so frustrated, I'm going to take it out on the King. No, you're not going to take it out on the King. You're going to get rejected.
Yes.
right? I mean, LeBron
Return
could
to
have
sender.
rejected that one in his sleep. He didn't even need to jump
Yes,
to reject
no,
it.
don't do this.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Skip, why you keep trying to minimize? You told him you
I'm not trying to minimize. Just show me something that's impressive. He's 6 feet 1 inches tall. And bottom line to this whole discussion, LeBron fouled the hell out of him.
No, he didn't.
He slapped his hand.
No, he didn't.
Tell me he doesn't
After
slap
he got
his
the ball,
hand.
after he blocked the ball.
He slapped his hand. I'm calling foul. I mean, that's like an easy call.
Which occurred first?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
He
it
slapped
does.
his hand.
He got the ball, Skip.
Come on.
All ball.
It's
Ball don't
slap.
lie.
It's slap. Slap. It's hand. He got hand on hand.
No, he didn't.
You cannot do that.
Skip.
You know it, and I know
you
it.
know that.
If
Don't do
the
that.
roles had been reversed, it's like he's going.
First of all, you and I both know Terry Rozier would never be that dumb to try to block a LeBron James dunk.
I don't know. I've seen things happen. Wait a minute. On Friday night, I witnessed this. I think maybe I was dreaming in my living room. I don't know, but I saw a 6'4" guy named Marcus Smart just reject LeBron at the rim. Do you remember this?
Okay, did LeBron?
We have this?
Hold on, did LeBron
Wait.
know?
What just happened? It's a 6'4" guy. That's all.
That's
ball.
a foul.
That's not a foul. He got nothing but leather.
Skip.
He got leather.
This
The King got rejected by a 6'4" guy. He's 5 inches taller.
Skip.
How did that happen?
We saw Nate Robinson block Yao Ming.
He could jump out of the gym.
We saw Nate Robinson block.
Wow.
This is what we know. If you play in the NBA, you will get dunked on, and you will dunk on someone.
Well, speaking of that, did you see what Jason Tatum did to the King last night?
Yeah, he dunked. Great play. Great play.
I could see that all night.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart. Wait, look at this. Jason Tatum's 20 years of age. Ooh. He slammed it right in the King's face.
Great highlight.
I think that's a poster.
You know, it is.
I think he got posterized. The King got posterized in a Game 7. How could that be?
And guess what Jason Tatum can be doing? Guess what Jason Tatum will be doing until next year? He'll be looking at the poster of him dunking on LeBron, listening to details of how Kobe Bryant said Jason Tatum should be doing things. So he got all summer to look at a poster and listen and explain to Kobe what he should do, how he should get skinny getting through there. Because guess what? My guy going to be going.
Well, I wish I could have been there in your household when that happened. The King got dunked on because you're like thinking, how can I end my life?
No.
Like, how can I do? Should I
tweeted
jump out the window?
He's looking for a tall building,
I tweeted, I had the tweet with the eyes, and I say Tatum.
Really?
Oh, I give credit where credit's due. I give credit's due.
Okay.
But if you don't mind me asking, can you tell the people what happened after that?
15-2 happened.
Oh, yeah.
No. Is that what you're talking about?
So he should have left well enough alone. He should have left well enough alone. And now the King brought it. Now, guess what? See, this is why I love playing playoff games on the road. Because, see, when you play playoff games at home, Holly, and you lose, guess what? All that meant is I had 77,000 disappointed Bronco fans. I want your fans to be disappointed. I want to go to Arrowhead, and I want to see 80,000 people dressed in red with their heads down trying to beat traffic. All these people at the Garden, all they had played, I think the cheapest ticket was over $1,100, Skip. Somebody paid that kind of money to see Bron put foots in. Had Jason Tatum over his knee. Wop, 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 wop.
Yeah, so back to the Terry Rozier play. It was a sensational, just smash.
Tremendous block.
He just
Get
lifted
it out of
into
here.
the 20th row on a 6'1" shot.
Get it out.
And
Donovan
then,
Mitchell, 6'2".
Then LeBron stands at that end like, look at me.
No,
Look at
That's
me.
what he was doing, Skip.
I just blocked a 6'1" guy.
He was swinging. He was swinging it all that. He was swinging it all that. Yeah.
And the Cavaliers are going to the other
ain't worried about it.
and they're playing 4-on-5 offense.
Give me this my moment.
Is that out of the LeBron textbook for how to teach kids how to play basketball?
Yeah, this is
you block somebody's shot, stay at that end while your team goes plays 4-on-5.
Let Bron have his moment, Skip. Why you don't want him to have his moment?
On a 6'1" guy? Really?
You didn't say, hold on. Now, you just said the other night in game 2 when that same 6'1" guy dunked, you were yelling and screaming, come on, LeBron. Now, if he didn't challenge him, you say LeBron ain't playing no defense. He challenged him at the rim and blocked his shot. Now there's a problem.
If he'd gone up and rejected Greek Freak or somebody who can actually jump, somebody who's actually 6'8" or 9, like somebody his own size.
Oh, like Tiago Splitter?
Tiago Splitter can't jump higher than I can jump.
What about Aaron Baines?
Aaron Baines, are you serious?
You didn't say nothing when he caught that alley hoop, when he caught that lob.
By the way, speaking of foreign guys, like what'd you call me? Tell me about Nurkic.
Yeah.
Got body bagged. Well, I was thinking last night, how could LeBron play the rest of the game? Because he got body bagged. He got Nurkic.
Don't do this, Skip.
Well, didn't he?
Don't do this.
Is he okay today? I mean, do you think his psyche's okay?
I don't know.
Do you think he's questionable for Game 1 of the finals after that?
I don't know.
Because I think they were zipping up his body bag.
Hold on. I think he's fine because think about it, Skip.
Wow.
Al Horford tried to drag him down. Oh, that Al Horford or more tried to drag him down by his neck. Say we not gonna grab him by his shoulders. He still got the ball up, and it's still where it is.
And he's still bigger than Al Horford, the Celtics center. He's bigger than Al. He just is. You know it, and I know it. What are you going to do? It's a mismatch.
Everybody else. You know what? I still wonder if Marcus Morris is going to tell his grandkids about playing LeBron.
Yeah, he is. He's going to say, I tried to guard LeBron. I got to guard LeBron. He can't guard LeBron.
No. That's not what he said, Skip.
Well, I know.
He said next to Kawhi, he's the second best defender on LeBron. He said, Papa, how you do against LeBron in that championship, in that Eastern Conference Final? He said, boy, what'd I tell you about talking about your old Papa like
right. Oh, I got it.
Because Bron put foots in Papa.
No, but he can at least say he tried.
No, ain't no try. Skip, this is
Good
4
effort.
points.
Yeah.
We don't do that try here. We're not in kindergarten. You get a star for tying your shoe or not going potty on your cart. This is on your cot. This is NBA basketball. Try is not good enough.
I can tell you.
Where?
On your cot when you were in elementary school.
Did it happen to you?
Huh?
Did it happen?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dare go home and tell my grandfather that I went on my cot. Man, please. My grandfather would have beat the brakes off me.
I wonder what Jason Tatum is going to tell his grandkids. He's only 20 years of age, but someday what will he tell his grandkids about what he did to the King?
I couldn't stop him from going 8 straight finals.
Really?
And I had home court advantage.
Really?
And he went.
And I had no help?
Still, if you
I had no help.
What about Al Horford? So Al Horford ain't no help now.
He's not.
Jaylen Brown.
You have scoffed at Al Horford on this show before.
But I said he's playing the best basketball.
No, that dunk is playing on loop in his house.
Is it?
Forever. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, all right. Was last night the greatest achievement of LeBron's career? We need a little bit of clarity. Chris Broussard comes with us next.
Come on out here, hating Chris Broussard.
No mercy.
Welcome back into Undisputed on this Memorial Day.
Put it on. I don't care. Put it on. You're dying to put it on.
No, Skip.
Put it on.
Oh, Chris said he wanted to see it. He said, Shannon, can I see it?
I think Chris wants to put it on. You're welcome to.
Not quite.
Chris, he got a little goatee like
I'm getting closer to reaching out to it, though.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to reaching out to it.
Chris, don't encourage it. Earlier, he was putting his black and mild out in the coffee. So it's all over the desk now.
All ghetto.
It's exactly what this is. That's where it's heading. All right, Chris, the Cavs won Game 7 in Boston last night, and Jeff Van Gundy said that getting this Cavs team to the finals was the greatest achievement of LeBron's career. All right, Chris Broussard, you always bring the truth. What do you think here? You agree?
This was tremendous. Fantastic. I can throw out all the accolades at LeBron James for doing this. However, no way. This is not the best achievement of LeBron's career. I can go back to 2000. I think it's the third best. Okay, second best, I go back to 2007. Now, I think that 2017 was better than this one because they lock you down defensively. But offensively, they had nothing outside of LeBron. And I say that was a bigger achievement to get them to the finals because of who they beat. In the second round, a 22-year-old LeBron James goes through Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, all three in their prime. Kidd and Jefferson had been to 2 finals, and he beats them in 6.
I would agree.
You know, and only his second time in the playoffs. And then the next round, Detroit, you're down 0-2. And Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups. I can even throw in Tayshaun, Chris Webber, and Anthony McDyess, who were there toward the end. But to beat that team 4 straight, we know what he did in Game 5. 29 of their last 30 points, 25 straight. That was a bigger accomplishment. But I can't believe that people have forgotten already about the biggest accomplishment of his career, 2016. Down 3-1. Whenever you do something no one else has ever done, that, to me, is humongous. Nobody else had come back from 3-1 down.
Right.
2 times you got to win in Golden State. You don't have home court advantage. And he gives them 41 back-to-back in 5 and 6, and then a triple-double in Game 3.
Game 7, you mean?
I'm sorry, Game 7. And It's the best regular team season in regular season history. And let's face it, that was a better team. Golden State was the better team.
Yes.
And LeBron got them over the hump. I think that was his greatest achievement.
I think the thing is why people kind of put this one because he did have Kyrie, because in Game 5, Kyrie went for 41. And in Game 6, Kyrie had another monster game to back up LeBron's 41. And so I think because he had a healthy Kevin Love and a healthy Kyrie, Kevin Love basically missed the last 2 ball games. He got hurt. He got hurt with 3 minutes to go into Game 6. And in the first couple of games, I mean, he really didn't do a whole lot, especially Game 1. Now, he did come with LeBron. He came along with LeBron in Game 2. I think he had 22 and LeBron had 40, so they scored the lion's share of the team's point. But for me, doing what he did on the road in Game 7 with Jeff Green, JR, with that cast of characters, because you got to realize now, plus he also swept a 59-win team in Toronto. The fact of the matter is they were still 50. They still had 59 wins.
Don't even bring up Toronto.
What when you brought up New Jersey?
They had Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, and Richard Jefferson. That's 2 Hall of Famers.
Okay.
Who going to the Hall of Fame from that Toronto team? And even the Boston team. That's the bigger thing. New Jersey team was better than this Boston team. That Detroit team was better than this Boston team. Like, these are young whippersnappers. Jason Tatum became the youngest player ever to lead a team in scoring and get them to the Eastern Conference Finals in the playoffs. Like, he's a young whippersnapper.
Because, I mean, the thing is, I mean, Magic had Kareem. I believe Magic might have had that, but that's neither here nor there. You look at what LeBron was able to do with this guy. I'll tell you what, of the teams that's still playing in the playoffs, let's say, who other than LeBron could start for the Warriors? Who other than LeBron could start for Houston?
I'm giving you that he didn't have much help. I mean, and I'm not trying to belittle what he did yesterday. Yeah. I'm just saying I think he had to go through more in 07. And then, of course, and the stage. Like, ultimately, this is, if they lose in the finals, this will be great because he got to the finals for an 8th straight time. But what he did in 16, that first championship in Cleveland in 52 years in any major sport, like, the stage was just much bigger.
This is a joke. This whole idea that this was his greatest achievement is a flat-out joke, and this guy's trying to push the joke off the blind witnesses out there who are so gullible that they're buying your goat mask and your
Leave it alone, Skip.
So I am now sitting with the 2 gentlemen who, at the trade deadline, the day after the trade deadline, threw a parade over there about all the acquisitions. I loved it. I thought it was tremendous. I thought Dan Gilbert deserved Executive of the Year. I know Kobe does all the legwork, but Dan Gilbert signed off on that. He ramrodded those trades, and he got rid of the guy that you just couldn't stand to even look at, IT, and he got rid of Derrick Rose, and he got rid of Jay Crowder, who you were completely done with, right? And he got rid of what was left of Dwayne Wade at that point.
He let that Wade go back to Miami where he should be.
Okay, fine. And it went boom, boom, boom. And every player that they added, I like all of them. I think they're all pretty good. And I still say Rodney Hood's got a game or 2 in him in the finals. I don't know. He's completely dogged.
They gave him 8 points yesterday, Skip. You know, those 4 players gave him 8 points.
Yeah, I got it. But they're still pretty good basketball players who can play on any given night much better than that group who was there before. Right? Okay.
Yo, I don't believe he's here with that group.
Do you believe individually, the guys they sent away were better individually than these guys,
I got that,
right?
but it was
they
not
didn't fit.
working.
They didn't
faster.
Fit. Yes. But they were better. They were more talented.
Okay, but it was such a cakewalk through the 3 teams they got to play to get to the finals that here's what happened. LeBron is still ranked only 41st in individual defense in these playoffs. Only 41st. And remember, the Golden State Warriors just dominate the top 10. They have like 5 in the top, 15 or so?
And the rest of them happen to be Celtics.
Okay, all right. But that's from the regular season. I think that faded in the postseason. Okay. But LeBron James got away with getting all the way to the finals. He is running away with the turnover lead in the playoffs. He's got 74. That's 14 more than James Harden. Well, those are wasted possessions, obviously, but it doesn't matter because he is so great on offense and the competition is so average that they play.
He's going to lead in turnovers because he handles the ball so much and he's playing an average of 42 to 43 minutes a night. Nobody else can play that kind of ball.
But don't give him a pass for that. That's too many.
No. I said he would skip. He's been very, very careless with the basketball.
Okay, I got it. And he still can't make his free throws, which just drives me crazy because he's just better than that. But he's a 73% free throw shooter in the postseason.
What did he hit yesterday? He hit 3 or 4 down the stretch?
He missed 2.
If you don't mind me asking.
He missed 1 late.
On Saturday, how many free throws did Kevin Durant miss?
What did he make, like 30 in a row?
No, finally. Yeah. He missed 4.
Okay, but
so
for the playoffs, Kevin Durant is 90% and LeBron James is 73%, and you're going to lose yet another case of Diet Mountain Dew to me because do you realize LeBron would have to make 60 straight free throws now to get to your 80% to win the bet? Do you think he's going to make 60 in a row against Golden State?
I might lose that bet.
You might lose that bet, okay? So that's what LeBron sort of got away with to get to this point. So then here comes Indiana. Indiana was a nice basketball team, but it's Victor Oladipo, who'd been rejected by everyone as Russell Westbrook's sidekick, and nobody saw this coming once he went to Indiana in place of George Paul or Paul George, whoever you want to say, but Paul George.
They might have won that trade.
Okay, all right. So, but Indiana was the 5 seed to the Cavs 4 seed, and the Cavs were favored to win 5 of those 7 games. I was surprised it went to 7 games because I think you two were surprised it went to 7 games.
No,
right?
well, they lost game 1, so you know the likelihood of them winning 4 straight, especially going to Indiana. I knew Brown would steal 1.
All right, and I still say Kevin Love saved their season in that crucial stretch in the late 3rd, early 4th quarter. Don't give me that. You know he did. LeBron checked out. I don't know what was wrong, but he checked out and he walked up the tunnel. He didn't limp up the tunnel.
He had cramps,
He walked up the tunnel. I don't know what was going on. And he missed 5 clock minutes that were crucial because they were only up 1. And when he returned, they were up 12 thanks to Kevin Love, who made 2 threes and a jump shot.
He had 8
8 points in that stretch. Don't tell me that wasn't crucial.
No, but I'm saying, does that take away from LeBron? You got to have your teammates contribute.
But you got it. You got that help. And then to your Toronto point, that's the 2nd straight year they swept those sorry Raptors. That's just
they shook. The Raptors.
But here's the thing, though, Chris.
Sorry.
You and I both can agree. Sweeping the Raptors with Kyrie doing what he was doing because Kyrie was in his bag all playoffs last year. When Kevin Love sweeping the Raptors with those two is one thing. Sweeping them this year is something entirely different.
But you know what? They're just psychologically demolished against LeBron. They just come out
more so this year than last year.
Everybody in the East is psychologically damaged.
Okay, well, the Celtics never.
Weren't.
You know what?
Except
They
until Game
weren't,
7.
but I'm just telling you, you're overrating the Boston Celtics. They were offensively challenged. They're not a shot-making team.
They are defensive
They don't
team.
have Kyrie, and in the end, you're going to lose without Kyrie Irving to LeBron James. You're just going to.
All I know,
Third best.
All I know is that LeBron went to the finals minus Kyrie. All I know is the Celtics got to the Eastern Conference Final with Kyrie missing the last 2 months of the season. So all I know is my guy, GOAT James, is looking real good right now, Chris.
He is.
All that clutch stuff, all that clutch.
This was his 3rd best achievement.
Chris, are you psychologically damaged after spending time with us?
No.
Will you stick around for another segment? All right, you're going to stick around.
Goat probably on that Vino. You know, it was National Wine Day the other day, Skip. He probably having some more good old Vino. What do you think he having? Some Opus?
He deserved to have some last night.
Yellowtail. What are you drinking, Skip? Bordeaux?
I don't know. I don't drink wine, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
I have no idea.
Nice little Chardonnay.
Who is the most valuable Warrior? Is it Durant, Curry, someone else? Is it this GOAT over here next to us?
Yeah, they'll
Discuss that
go.
coming up next.
No mercy.
Warriors are trying to reach their 4th straight NBA Finals tonight in Houston. Kevin Durant is leading the team at nearly 30 points per game in the series, and Steph Curry is averaging just under 25 points. But Game 6 was all about Klay Thompson, who hit 9 3-pointers and finished with 35 points. Chris Broussard still with us. Glad to have him here. But first, Skip, who is the most valuable Warrior right now?
I didn't think I would ever say this, but I think it's Klay Thompson because he is the mentally and physically toughest Golden State Warrior. He's the guy you can count on when the chips are really down. And I told Shannon this earlier, Chris, in the show, but I know a Warriors insider I've known for a long time, and he said, we're playing joyless basketball right now. Nobody's having any fun. Kevin is not having any fun. Steph continues to live down to his reputation as a two-time MVP in the postseason. He's never quite lived up. I can go back to 2016 when Iguodala came on to win the MVP, though you made a case. 15, yeah. You still thought it should have been Steph. But look at games 5, 6, and 7 in 20, what was that?
16 when they lost.
Yeah. Yep. And look at Steph's numbers. He was just horrible. He was really horrible in the Game 7 that they had no business losing to the Cavaliers at Oregon in Game 7 when it was LeBron and Kyrie who took the game over late. And the other night, Steph was 1 for 7 in the first quarter from 3. In the first half from 3. And the other night, Kevin Durant was just a no-confidence mess again. I've never seen him play like this, where he's just lost his way, his feel, his touch, it looks like he's lost interest in some ways. I don't know if sometimes he goes through off-the-court distractions. I don't know if he has too many investments. I don't know if he just got his ring last year and his finals MVP and he proved what he needed to prove, leaving Russell Westbrook. And he's just not as driven as he used to be. But Klay Thompson always sacrifices for this team. Whatever it needs on offense or especially on defense, he does it. And the other night, there's no way they survived without him playing the defense he played on James Harden and making, as Holly pointed out, 9 threes. Yeah. 7 were with 1 second catch and shoots, which is some 4th level record for making threes with 1 second or less, getting it away. And to me, this team, in the end, it'll go as he goes on one side of the ball or the other. And I can tell you, games against my Spurs, he'll just take people out of the game. He'll take Tony Parker out. He'll take Patty Mills out, where they're the spark plug, and he just shuts them down. And Steve Kerr made a powerful point the other night. Nobody's in better shape than this guy is. I know LeBron gets a lot of attention for his shape, and he deserves it. But in this case, this guy runs all night long because he's running off screens like crazy on offense. And then he runs on defense, and he did a number on James Harden. So the guy I would trust the most tonight in the hostile environment would be Klay Thompson.
We don't agree much, Skip Bayless, but we absolutely agree on this.
Okay.
Because not only is he giving it to you offensively, but he has the toughest defensive assignment.
Always.
Guard James Harden. And normally what you do, your best offensive player, he would not dare step foot in front of the opposing team's best offensive player. So you're asking him, and he has James Harden shooting 31% in the 4th quarter in this series, 19% from 3. And it was him, 21 second half points. Game 1, 16 second half points. And Skip, arguably the biggest game of his career was Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals in 2016 when he went to OKC and he lost his mind shooting threes.
That was a big.
And they were in big
and
trouble.
They were in a heap of trouble. And it was him that's like, oh no, we're not losing tonight. What they ask him to do on a nightly basis, he's guarding the best point or 2 guard of the opposing team. So he's going to have to guard Dame Lillard or C.J. McCollum. He's going to have to guard Russ. He's going to have to guard James Harden. So you ask him to do that. But, oh, yeah, bro, we're going to need you to chip in and give us those 20 points, and we're going to need 5 of those from the 3-point line. So that's what we need you to do. Because right now, let me ask you a question, Chris. You've been covering this game, how long, 20 years?
Over 20.
Over 20 years.
22 years.
Skip's been doing it for 40 years. You think there's a chance that LeBron James could have been the 3rd leading scorer on his team, and his team win by 25? Because that's what KD did. KD was the 3rd leading scorer on his team on Saturday, and they won by 25. You know why? Because when you got those 2 guys, but y'all making a comeback, Chris. Y'all used to be
we back.
Yeah, the light skin feeling. Y'all been, y'all come
Zach LaVine, we rapping.
By the way, KD was also the finals MVP. And KD made the shot of shots in the finals right in LeBron's face.
All right, let me settle this. Look, because I love Klay. I'm with you guys defensively, offensively. Love his attitude.
Because he
don't care.
Exactly.
Doesn't care about the accolades.
He doesn't care. He doesn't make any waves about it.
He's going to be, it looks like the reports are that he's going to stay, re-sign with Golden State. He's going to be this dynasty's, if they go ahead and win, James Worthy. That's what he is. He is going to be a Hall of Famer, just tremendous. I hope he stays. However, the most valuable, most important Warriors player is the same one it's been for this 4-year run, and that is Steph Curry. And the reason that the Warriors are in dire straits right now, the reason they're in danger of losing, is because they've lost that identity. They have gotten away from the free-flowing ball movement, pass-happy offense that is rooted in Steph Curry. And now they're playing iso ball through Kevin Durant too often. And it's largely on KD, but it's not just him. Steve Kerr, you're the head coach. You got to pull rank. At some point, this is not working.
He did pull him to the side.
He talked to him about Jordan, yeah, but this isn't working. And some of it's on the players, the teammates, because how many times, especially in Game 5 and earlier, do we see Clay or Steph at half court just give it to Durant in the middle of the court and then run off to the side and looking for him to do something? So, and then Houston has a lot to do with it because when you switch everything, it baits you into playing iso basketball. Right. And the numbers bear it out. Steve Kerr has been a stickler for the magic number is 300 passes per game. Yeah. They averaged 323 in the regular season. This series, 271 passes a game.
They just don't pass.
Because they're getting baited into playing too much iso through Kevin Durant. Now, when they go through Durant, they're still elite. Yeah. They're still as good as Houston, Cleveland. They're one of the better teams, but they're not special.
Right.
When they play through Steph, even though KD's a better player, and Clay is obviously better both ways, but when they play through Steph, everything opens up and they become special because the defense has to adjust to this guy at 40 feet from the basket. So I think Steph, notice Game 6. That's a prime example. In first half, it's a tough game. KD has 6 ISOs in the first quarter. Second half, they begin playing through Steph. Steph's bringing it up, not KD anymore. They're moving the ball. KD had 4 ISOs over the last 3 quarters of Game 6. And we saw what happened. They look like the old Golden State. The great thing about Kevin Durant is you don't have to feature him. You can just include him and he'll get you 30.
Yeah.
They need to feature Steph and include Durant, and Durant's going to do his thing and they're going to play their ball. If they go back to this ISO heavy thing through Durant, as great as he is tonight, then they can lose.
I need to give props where they're deserved to P.J. Tucker. He is physically intimidating Kevin Durant. I've never seen anything like it before. He is knocking him off his spot. He's getting up underneath him, and Kevin is a little gun shy. He's falling backward. He doesn't feel comfortable anymore. And the other thing is, Chris Paul was getting up into Steph Curry before he went out. So maybe now you're open to move a little more freely. Right. But the offense you're describing is the regular season offense. I haven't seen it as much in the postseason.
I think it opens things up for Clay when they go through Steph, and I think that's what happened in the second half. But you're right, not having Chris Paul there was a big part.
The great luxury that the Warriors have is that when they're not making shots, is that you do have 7-foot Kevin Durant who can ISO, who can post you up and shoot over the top of anybody. But if you look at the first half, Skip, Kevin Durant was minus 15.
It's terrible.
He was minus 15.
Yeah. Steph was terrible. He's 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah, but still, he was he made some shots. He was 1 for 7, but he was 6 of 13 overall.
What was his plus minus? It was
minus 1.
Yeah. So
KD in the first half was 3 of 11, 1 for 3, minus 15. It was Clay and Steph that wouldn't let them.
It was Clay. He just said no.
But that was the Rockets. They get careless with the ball. And all of a sudden, they like they're the Harlem Globetrotters. They think they try to make every pass. But the reason why I like Clay is that it takes a special kind of guy to be on the team because we all love credit. And he's basically, okay, I'm the third wheel, but he has the toughest defensive assignment every night. He never gets to take a night off because this is the deepest point guard field we've ever seen. And it's deep. He has to guard him. Yeah. Well, if you got a great 2 guard, he has to guard him. And they still ask him, we need you to guard Harden. We need you to slow down Westbrook or Dame Lillard. But we also need them 29. So don't forget about that. Don't think you can lock them up and not give it your 20.
But they end up switching Steph onto him. The opponent always runs at Steph and switches and gets Steph on you.
Because they try to pick. That's the whole thing. Everybody's offense is pick. Whoever Steph is on, come here and sit the high pick on.
So Shannon Sharp.
Yes.
Who do you want to play in the finals? Houston, Golden State.
I want to play over there. I ain't got no preference.
Wrong.
He wants Houston.
Wrong.
He wants Houston.
I want whoever there.
I want him. And Skip, you have to admit this. The greatest player in the game today is no longer up for debate.
No,
It's not
you must
Kevin
not have
Durant.
watched
You
our
know
show
that.
on Friday.
I heard you killed it.
Okay, I killed it.
But did you admit
Kevin
that LeBron's the
Durant,
best player?
I called him. Yeah.
Okay.
I needed to see LeBron last night after that Game 5 retired.
Hold up. So what about Game 6?
Well, that happened on Friday night. We were talking on Friday's show.
Okay, so
I can't do it until I see it.
No, you can't. You can tweet it.
I tweeted that night.
Did you tweet at LeBron?
And by the way, I called his line almost exactly for Game 6 also.
Why you didn't
And
call
Game
me?
7.
Why didn't you call and tell me? I need to hear.
I don't want to hear you. I have to put up with you all week. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Chris, thanks for joining us. We love having you, but we need that seat available because NBA champion Jason Terry is here. We'll get his take on LeBron and the Cavs coming up next.
Why is he the champion?
No mercy. Our next guest just finished his 19th season in the NBA. 19. Yes. Only Ray Allen and Reggie Miller have made more three-pointers in league history, and he won a title with the Mavericks in 2011.
Wow.
Jason Terry, how about that intro?
Oh,
I appreciate it.
Wait
Thank you very much.
Wait a second. 2011, he won his ring against LeBron's team. Did LeBron? I don't even remember LeBron playing in games 4, 5, and 6.
Bring that jury right here. Yeah, bring that out here today.
Got LeBron name on it, right on it.
No, it don't.
LBJ, right on the inside.
I think LeBron didn't play in games 4, 5, and 6 of that series. Do you remember? I can't remember.
Wow.
Don't do that. Jet, don't fall
I'm
in
not
that
gonna
trap.
feed
Yeah,
it.
don't fall for skip stuff.
On the game that we just had last night, I cannot fall into
Yeah,
that.
he can't.
I refuse to fall into that trap.
All right, let's get into the details. Your second time on the program. Thanks for coming back. Dealing with all of us again. All right, let's talk about the Cavs. LeBron won his 6th straight Game 7 last night, 87-79 in Boston. Finished with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. Played all 48 minutes of the game. The Celtics had been undefeated at home in the playoffs, but were just 7 for 39 from three-point range last night. 7 for 39. I'll repeat that. Now LeBron is now headed to his 8th straight NBA Finals. So Jason, what'd you see in the game last night? Big picture.
Well, last night I seen a very determined LeBron James. He was going to do whatever it took last night to get his team to the NBA Finals. Now, if you look at the Boston Celtics, inexperience. They were out of character last night, and they looked like they weren't even in the Garden. They looked like they were still in Cleveland playing because the shot selection was horrendous. They did not do what they did in previous series to have that tremendous home court advantage, and that was control tempo. They looked out of sorts. I mean, they took too many threes last night. They took bad shots early in possessions. Defensively, they still were solid, but I just thought offensively they were out of rhythm. Now, give Jason Tatum all the credit in the world, except for when he bumped his chest up on the king.
Bad idea. Just bad idea.
Just not good in that situation.
Let it lay.
Let it go.
Let it go.
You know, poke the bear, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
not in that
he's
situation.
hibernating.
But I get it. I get it. Tremendous play. And he'll make plenty more of those throughout his career. But that was just not an opportune time to do so.
You see what happened was in games 1 and 5, especially in the Garden, is that when you're up 15, you're up 25, you take bad shots, no harm, no foul.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you get in a nip and tuck ball game, and you know there's finality to this.
Yes.
There is no game 8, there is no game 9, and all of a sudden those shots you're like, why are you shooting that? Those were the shots they were shooting and was going in when they were playing in the Garden. Now all of a sudden, clank, clank, clank. And LeBron did a great job of controlling tempo because if you notice, they weren't getting out 6 seconds on the clock. He's taking the shot. A lot of times it's 2 seconds on the clock when someone's getting the ball up. That wasn't by accident, Skip. That's how he controlled the thing.
Well, also the pressure of the situation. You're in a closeout game. It's Game 7.
On your home court?
On your home court.
Pressure's on you.
The pressure's definitely on you. I've been in that situation 4 times in my career, twice at home. But you have to have guys step up. And I just think if you look at this stat sheet, they didn't have the production they needed. They only played 7 guys last night. As much credit as we've given the coaching staff of the Boston Celtics, last night he didn't trust his bench at all.
He did not.
And they went with Marcus Morris and Marcus Smart.
Yep.
And they were 6 for 14 off the bench. And that's not going
No,
to
6 for 24, you mean?
6 for 20. Yes,
6 for 24.
6 for 24 off the bench, and that's not going to
That's
get
suffocating D we play.
Yeah.
Remember how you said we were number 29, Skip? Skip talking, we 29.
Yeah.
Well, you were.
No.
29 out of 30 teams.
We weren't last night.
And your man in the playoffs is 41st in individual defense, LeBron James.
He was
41st?
7 at one time, coming
Okay,
down.
well, he's
going to be top 10
moving
for
up.
it's all
He
said
will
and done.
not be top
Yes, he
10.
will.
Oh, well, you don't want to lose another case
Yeah.
do you? Yeah, okay. So what happened, bottom line last night, was the stage got too big for the Boston Celtics.
Definitely.
What happened was the Celtics needed this man coming off the bench shooting threes for them because I'm not just saying this for your benefit, but you would have been exactly what the doctor ordered for that situation because you can get open looks against this defense. A bunch of these misses, they missed 32 threes. Jason Terry's going to make 5 of those. He's just going to make 5 of them. And if you make 5, guess what? We're having a different conversation.
They started settling for the 3-2, though, Skip.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, they Golden State and Houston, they're a 3-point shooting team. Instead of just like, okay, they're going to run me off the 3, drive the ball and try to make someone come and dish. They're like, okay, no, I'm going to sidestep you and still get this 3 up. They're not a 3-point shooting team. They fell in love with that because the 3 was going in for them at home in the first couple of games. Not in a game 7, Skip. I mean,
well, that's why I thought the lights were too bright. I mean, that's in our league we call it hero ball.
Yeah.
And when you're taking shots like that are not in rhythm and you're just hoisting them up, you're hoping it goes in rather than getting the higher percentage shot and making the defense work. And it was a lot of heroes out there last night, but the guy they should have kept feeding was Tatum because he was hot.
He was, but he did not have enough help. He had less help than LeBron had last night.
No doubt about it. And it was
20-year-old.
And it was still a competitive game. 9 lead changes. They took the lead in the fourth quarter.
They did. 6:04 left.
For that much time.
I think maybe the turning point, Skip, is that when they took that 72-71 lead, LeBron found Jeff Green in the corner.
He did.
He answers with a 3, and now all of a sudden it's back to a 2-point lead.
That was the end of that deal.
And they never looked back again.
They go on a 15-2 run.
But we got to commend. old GOAT.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Ty Lue.
No.
I mean, we give him so much credit. LeBron, but at some point, we got to give Tyronn Lue some credit.
Tyronn Lue ain't played 46
But he
minutes.
inserted Jeff Green into the lineup.
Who else he was going to play?
19 points.
Who else he was going to play?
He had a couple other guys he could have went to.
No, because you do
started
remember.
Larry Nance.
Yeah.
Good out.
But that
Larry Nance thought he had a football in his hands. He just took off running towards the basket. He forgot he had to dribble it.
Did you see him in Game 6? He went 5 for 5 and had what? He had 10 points and 7 rebounds. He was big, I thought. I love his energy.
LeBron was getting him
Energizer Bunny.
But
Gonna need him in the next round.
They will.
The dude is 33. He played 46 minutes, and he came back and gave you all 48. That's
He did.
what he did.
No, he did.
So
He did.
I tweeted before the game, I predicted he'd go 39, 15, and 12, and he went 35, 15, and 9. He did what you were expecting him to do, what most people.
Sure.
And he had a bad game. Just imagine if he had a good game, Jet, what he'd have done.
Oh, my goodness.
Why did he have a bad game? Because he had 8 turnovers?
I mean, you playing all those minutes. When was the last time you know somebody played 48 minutes in a playoff game, Jet? They don't do it.
Hey.
He did it after playing the
Very
most
rare.
minutes in the NBA.
Very rare.
What would happen to Jet if he had 8 turnovers in a game? Would he
I wouldn't be on the court after the fourth one.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
Yeah. First of all,
but I'm gonna tell you this: he has the ball in his hand.
Thank
he
you,
was gonna
Jet.
do if he had to turn it over 20 times last night.
Thank you.
he would-
Skip, no. Skip done been around again. Look at me over there.
I'm just.
He turned the ball over. You know that man had his ball. Who got the highest PER in the NBA right now in the playoffs, Skip? Who got the highest PER?
LeBron.
Huh?
Should, because it doesn't count defense.
Whoa,
It doesn't count.
Whoa.
If we factor in defense,
Hey,
So does PER factor in defense in the regular season?
no.
Oh, okay.
Does PER count that block he had? Because that was.
Tell him again,
That
Joey.
was amazing.
That was amazing.
Whoa,
block.
whoa, whoa,
Tell him about it,
whoa,
Jet.
hold
Because
on.
you have to have guts
We
to
just-
time
wait a second.
somebody up, count your
Wait.
steps, and then meet them at the rim.
How
That
tall?
was
Wait, how tall are you?
tough.
How tall are you?
6'2".
2. This man, Terry Rozier, is 6'1", and he could not buy a basket, and he lost his mind and tried to dunk on a 6'9" guy who had the
Here it is.
angle
Here we go.
on
Here we
him.
go.
Just
Had
saying
the
it.
angle
Here we go.
on him. LeBron's just tried.
Oh!
He just tried.
Oh!
And
Oh, he got the ball first, too. I don't want to hear about no foul. He got the ball
Got
first
the
on
ball
that one.
first.
Yeah.
Same thing I
You got
see.
hand
did.
and ball. Hand and ball. You
Ball
got
is
called
part of the
foul.
hand.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Boy,
think
that looks
hand is
like
part
a
of the ball.
foul to me.
But here's the thing, Jet. LeBron turned the ball over just like he did in Game 2. And he had an opportunity, and Skip Bayless said, LeBron, you set the tempo. You got to that's a little Terry Rozier. You got to do something. You do. And LeBron did it. So LeBron, so you know what? I'm going to bait and switch it. Because I know what you did in Game 2. Right. So LeBron says, if I run it at exactly 4.8 miles an hour, if I take 17 steps, I should be able to meet Terry Rozier at the apex at the check line.
He was trotting. He
trotting.
He didn't even have to run.
But that's how you do together.
You're sizing up a 6'1" guy.
Have you ever seen a high jumper, Skip? Have you ever seen the people high jump? They don't run full speed. They time those steps. Pop, 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 pop.
Listen to me. That is, I get cold shivers.
You guys
you too.
Because that was the same rim.
Cold shivers of blocking a 6'1" guy?
You
have lost your mind. Did you get a hold of him last night?
That is the same rim.
You have infected his brain.
He's trying to tell you the story. Hold on.
I tried
Let you put some spell on him. You put a spell on him.
He smoked the black and
You put the goat spell on him.
Jed is trying to tell you a story. Jed, tell him the story.
That is the same rim I tried, what LeBron tried. But it was LeBron James coming.
You got rejected by LeBron?
No, he dunked on me.
Oh, that's when he got body bagged when LeBron was in Miami.
What was it? Body bag.
Body bag.
Really? Wait a second. What did I see last night? Maybe it was just a vision. Maybe
you got to have
dreamed
to
it.
try to time up somebody's dunk.
Did you see what Jason Tatum did to the King? I think he body bagged him. Is LeBron okay?
Only reason why he didn't, because the chest bump and he shoe fly.
We got to see that. We got to see that.
I
got to see Jason Tatum. How did this happen?
Can we see it?
Can we please see it?
It's coming.
Here we go. King!
He went around him.
Oh, he got posterized.
He went around him.
He went around him?
Yeah. Well, he'll be on the poster.
That's on a poster.
It's on the poster.
Wait, is LeBron okay?
Yeah, LeBron fine.
Well, is he going to be okay for Game 1 because he got body bagged? I don't know. They zipped it up all the way to the top. That's why. Did you see the post-game the victory presentation?
What happened?
LeBron was laying on his back. Did you see it?
Skip, the man just logged 48 minutes after playing 46.
Wow. Unbelievable.
He got some big shoulders to carry all them boys.
Look at Jed. Tell him, Jed. What are you doing, Jed?
Big shoulders.
Carry those three guys in double.
Oh, you know what? I've got a little gift for you.
What you got for your boy?
Because I know you're back on your Black and Miles, but...
Oh, you got a cream.
Not you, too.
Oh,
I had to. Because the last time I was on this show, I said my Bucks was going to take them out.
Oh, you did say that.
We've been home for about 2 months.
Is that for him or the GOAT?
Both. There's 3 in the pack.
They're very different people, but we have to go.
You want one? Yeah, we about to do that.
Will you hang around with us?
I'll be here.
All right. Jason's sticking around. Has LeBron earned the GOAT status? We'll discuss that coming up next.
They be smoking when they climb them trees, Skip.
No mercy. LeBron is going back to the NBA Finals for the 8th straight time. 8th. He played all 48 minutes and finished with 35 points last night, 15 rebounds and 9 assists. We're once again joined by Jason Terry. And Jason, just for perspective here before I get to you with the question I have, the last time LeBron wasn't in the finals, the Celtics leading scorer Jason Tatum was 12 years old.
Wow.
12.
Right?
12.
Years
Not
old.
the 12 days of Christmas, Skip Bayless.
I thought he was 12 last night a few times.
Don't do that, Skip. You just said Jason Tatum didn't have any help.
I know. He's a baby.
All right, Jason, how impressive are the 8 straight conference championships for LeBron?
This feat is very impressive. You know, I love the greats. Magic, Bird, Jordan, Isaiah. But none of them went 8 straight. None of them. So that's where your argument comes in, who's the greatest of all the time. And to that point, LeBron sets himself apart. Because nobody's been there 8 straight. But again,
what is wrong with you?
Something happened.
Lost it.
I came his suit, the
what
blue.
Did you have?
That cobalt got it.
That cobalt blue.
That cobalt blue
got me.
So are you also going completely over the edge
I'm
into
not
LeBron's?
going all the way over there because I will tell you this. He's gotten there 8 times, but he's still under 50% when he's gotten to the mountaintop.
I'd say. Thank you.
Jordan is still
now
undefeated.
back to reality, Mr. Sharp.
Undefeated.
It's an unbelievable feat. I want to put this in proper perspective.
Yes.
Only the Lakers and the Celtics have more finals appearances than LeBron James. Let that sink in for just a second. Only the Los Angeles Lakers, Minneapolis Lakers, split, and the Boston Celtics have more final appearances than LeBron James.
But is your greatness defined on just getting there?
Hold on. Think about how many teams that play in the NBA that's never been there. Never. And he makes it a normal occurrence. Because this is what I tell you. Everybody keep talking about the East is weak. But you notice Don't nobody, when they become free agents, try to come to the East, do they? Kevin Durant didn't want to do that. Paul George got up out of town. Melo got up out of town. Paul Millsap got out of town. Why doesn't LaMarcus Aldridge had an opportunity to go? He stayed in the West. Nobody wants to come to the East, and it's because it's weak. Because don't nobody want to fight that beast in the East.
So you're
nobody
saying they'd rather go to the West and fight Golden State?
They'd rather go to the
That
West.
argument's not good.
Fight through the impossible West playoffs?
That
Why would you want to do that?
Well, why would you not go to the East?
You're going to need a lot of help in the East.
Why?
I'm just
It's
saying,
least.
there's not
You ain't got
as
nobody
much
on little LeBron James.
You go to
He
Golden
ain't nobody.
State, you could team up with Steph and
Oh,
Clay.
that's what I'm
Or
saying.
you could team up with James and
That's
CP.
what I'm saying. Think about
That's why you go West.
You say you love the all-time greats. Well, Jordan's greatest streak is 3 in a row. Magic greatest streak is 4 in a row.
Michael was forced out, or he would have been to 8 in a row.
Here's the thing.
You know it, and he would have won 8 in a row as opposed to being
we can't do,
3 and 6.
Jet, the one thing we know about sports, you can never say if.
Never.
We can't this is what we know, Skip.
No, because if I would have stayed in Dallas, we'd still be in the
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
That was funny.
And if Kyrie would have stayed, we can't do if, Skip.
No.
Let's do it what we know.
Okay.
LeBron James
Yes, sir.
is going to 8 in a row. In only 2 so this is his 9th finals appearance.
Yep.
Only 2 franchises. Let that sink in, Skip Bayless.
Okay.
Because when Tom Brady has gone to 8 and only the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Broncos have been to that many, you applaud Tom Brady. But so I need you to now put your hand together. And I don't mean no golf clap. I need you to clap like you in church. Amen.
Yeah,
when the preacher say something that you agree with, say amen. Let the church say amen.
The only professional
we don't
athlete.
clap in church.
The only
What
professional
kind of
athlete.
church you go to?
I don't go to.
Listen,
I go to a Methodist church.
the only professional athlete
I
that
don't know.
can do what LeBron is doing
Nobody
is
claps.
Tom Brady, because he can take you there with less, and he's always done that. He
Okay.
hasn't had the superstar next to him.
Trainer Chuck, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, okay, what you got for me?
Every year that LeBron has gone to the finals through the Cakewalk East, has the East been the least? Has it always been less than the West in each of these years? Would you agree with that? The lesser conference, has it always been the lesser? Yes, 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 yes. I can do 8 yeses. It's always been.
Okay, go ahead.
Has LeBron's team been favored to win the conference all 8 times? All 8 times? Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Any team he's on, he's
Okay.
going to be favored. Let's
Yes.
say that.
Any team.
Well,
He go to the Nets, they're going to be favored.
But not against. If he goes to the West, they're not going to be favored over Golden State. If he goes to Houston next year, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, they would be.
They would not.
Yeah, they would be.
He
They
goes
will
to Houston.
not.
I think yes.
I
he
don't
will
know.
be.
I'm going to
You
disagree
put
with
LeBron
you.
on that Houston team, and I think they're favored.
I just want to know one thing.
Wait, I'm not finished.
Okay,
It's my
look,
turn,
yeah,
and I'm not finished.
Go ahead, because I want to refute one of your
In
points.
all 24 of these series that it
Yes.
took to get to the finals, was LeBron's team not favored to win the series? Yes, all 24 times. In any of these 24, did I ever look at it and say, boy, LeBron's in trouble in this one? No, I didn't. We don't have time to go through all of them, but were they in a little bit of trouble here and there? Yeah, a little bit. And sometimes the Bulls or the Pacers or somebody had them a little bit of trouble, but I never thought the Bulls or Pacers
If you don't mind me asking, in Michael Jordan's run when he won six those in 8 years, was his team not the favorite in every last series?
Yeah, but again, they were in the tougher conference every time. Their tougher series were in the Eastern playoffs as opposed to the finals.
One more thing.
Okay?
Skip.
No, I'm talking. It's my turn. So I want to be clear about this. This is an enormous achievement. I'm going to give you this because on just pure durability, he stayed healthy through all these playoff runs. That's stunning to me.
AC Green stayed healthy.
Okay, but he's the guy. He's got the ball in his hands, and he's getting battered and fouled, and he's banging bodies. And for him to stay healthy through 8 years, I give you that. He should get high marks for this. And also on just mental and physical stamina, because the pressure just mounts every year because everybody expects him to win every one of these series, and he has come through every time until he gets to the finals. Okay? So I'm going to give you all this, but in the end, he has done what he should have done every time if he could stay healthy and stay mentally right, because you have to be mentally right for every.
That is a great point that he says that, because this is going to hurt you a little bit. Okay. Have you been listening and looking at LeBron over the last 3 or 4 games about his press conferences? This might be it for the GOAT. It might be over. Breaking news. He said he got 4 games left. I think it's taking a toll on him.
Yeah, it is.
He might leave on top of the mountain.
No,
You
he
mean,
ain't
wait,
gonna.
are you
it might be
suggesting he's
over.
going to walk away?
I'm just telling you, after playing 48 minutes a game, look at this roster, who he's had to carry, and then this year he's a free agent. To have to go through all that, that's just going to take too much of a toll on him. I think this year, if he wins the championship,
Are you suggesting that he's going to retire?
If LeBron James wins the championship this
He
year,
ain't going nowhere. He ain't talking to me about
I
that.
think he leaves.
What?
And think about what you just said.
What did you have for breakfast today?
Staying
I
healthy
don't know.
throughout all
I gotta
those
eat
years.
some of that.
Eventually, that health is going to decline.
Hey, Skip.
Year 50.
Really?
I've played
Okay, Skip.
20 years in
Well,
this
you're going
league.
to play 21 years.
But not at 48 minutes a night.
No,
not
that-
having to carry Ante Zizic, Rodney Hood, Calder Roan, Clarkson.
How about Jetty? You got Jetty.
I mean,
Okay, Skip, so
this could be it.
Well, wait a second. You buying this?
No, I ain't buying what you
Why
said
not?
yet.
I'm
No,
not
because-
buying it.
Tired. Did you see
No,
how many
he-
ice?
yeah,
the
he-
man looked like Patrick Ewing last night.
Yeah, he was tired.
In the locker room.
But hey, it's amazing. Go and get that vibranium. He off today. He off tomorrow.
Right.
He off Wednesday.
And
So
then
he'll
who
be
he
good.
got to face?
It don't
Golden
matter.
State,
But-
the four-headed month,
Or
the
Houston.
Hampton 4.5. Because Iguodala, we don't. He's bruised.
So okay, this will be
Well,
nice.
what if he's back?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay,
You
can
know
I?
how hard it's going to be for him to play 48 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what? They got to
This could
start
be the end,
testing
fellas.
for vibranium.
I think we need to
next
do
year.
what-
next
Skip,
year.
Skip, don't do that.
You
We need
know
to
it.
do
I know
everything
it.
that
Skip,
Shannon's
I
doing.
gotta
We need
wonder.
to respect this man and appreciate all the greatness
Okay,
that we've
okay.
seen.
With this,
Skip, if you
Bring
don't
out
mind
3 or
me-
4 of those.
So this will be LeBron.